Seatbelt.
It's 7 o'clock and I will call the meeting for the tax increment financial reinvestment zone directors meeting for April 24th, 2024. First item is to administer the oath to Tyler Bradford and Brian Reinhardt.
Where Ryan and Bill stand. It's my pleasure to swear you in today, so if you'll just raise your right hand, you'll say your name when I ask you to, and then repeat it after me. I state your name.
Brian Reinhardt,
Tyler Bradford,
Do solemnly swear
do
solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the reinvestment zone
of the reinvestment zone
of the state of Texas,
in the state of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of the state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'd have your board.
Sir?
Okay, next item, public comment. Citizens who desire to address the board, any matter of the agenda may sign up to do so prior to the meeting. Public comments will be received during this portion of the meeting. Please limit comments to 3 minutes. No discussion or final action will be taken by the tax increment financing reinvestment zone board of directors. We have Don Ashbury signed up and would like to address it. Welcome. Glad you're here.
John Asbury, I'm gonna sit though. No conflict of interest, financial gains, just trying to leave the place better than I found it. I have just 4 topics that would, since it's for future considerations, is under the future consideration topic. And the first one is, ever since I've been here, 40 years, there've been about the same number of small plane hangars. I understand there's a big backlog of people who want hangars that never been built. And the hangars are paid for by the rent. And so I would wonder if maybe y'all could consider helping to fund somehow expansion of the small hangars. Second thing is, if you know where Texas Roadhouse is, like we all do, just north of there, there's a private road going west. And it goes down to Sparta Crane Company now. And there's a new business past Sparta Crane Company, a group from California with fire extinguishers. They've cleaned up the lot and there, but it's a private road. It crosses Bird Creek. And it's, first of all, Bird Creek floods. It's got a culvert that big to handle Bird Creek, so it floods out in the parking lot. And it seemed like to me that that could be funded for a public road and put a better culvert in there so it doesn't flood Bird Creek, it doesn't flood their parkway at that point. And like I say, it's a thriving business, and that's what y'all are in, is looking for businesses. So I think that would be a nice thing to do. I'll jump to 4, and then I'll come back to 3. Nowadays, when people develop Temple, in particular residential areas, they can opt out of parks by paying a fee about $225, $250 per So we don't have, there's not many new neighborhood parks in the new development areas. Drive around, you can literally touch your hands on the houses between them now, they're so big. And yet there's no place for people to go and sit and walk around to a park at this point. See, the school district has got lots of room in a lot of their elementary schools and other schools. And I think it'd be a nice thing to fund to enhance the school district park for like a park on the weekends. I've talked to the school board chairman and the superintendent, and he was receptive to that idea, to doing that. But they always like to have money to do it. But you gave them $10 million to build a building anyway, so at that point. And the 4th one is the southwest part of the loop. And I was thinking, if there's ever a situation in Temple with a ridiculously long problem, it would be that. And we should give it what we call the Kegley Award for unsolved problems at this point. See, but if I'm coming in from Highway 36 with a truck, when I give them pipes to the west, and I turn on the loop to go around, go through Temple, first, when you first turn on it, there's 3 lanes. And then it quickly narrows down to 1 lane just before the Adams overpass. And at the Adams overpass, you have people coming out of Adams circling around to go into that 1 lane. You have people coming from West Adams, which is our biggest growth area, trying to get on. And you go down about 100 yards and you hit the access road to the loop. If you miss that access road, you have to go clear on around the I-35, go through 2 stoplights, and then take the next one right before 57th Street. People from I-35 come from the north and come to the south are using that same access road. The south side backs up halfway to Midway sometimes at that point to see. It's been that way forever. There needs to be an access road between Adams overpass and 36. I know it's a state highway, but we have clout at this point tonight, thinking, well, poor old Hugh Shine, we sacrificed him, so the governor owes us something anyway for what we did for a good man in Hugh Shine. See, but anyway, and that's the only 4th thing is I think public comments in Temple is 3 minutes. It's like I went into a public bathroom and constipated, and the sign says 3 minutes to a stall. You can't get it all done in 3 minutes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We'll make sure that he gets to it.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the call.
Okay. Next item is consider approval of the minutes from the meeting held on March 27, 2024. Have a motion, Lester, have a second? Second for Steve. Any discussion or questions? Not all in favor, please say aye. Carries. Okay, next item is review of projects and David Patrick.
Good morning. I've got great news for everybody this morning. We're a pretty short presentation. I know y'all, a couple of meetings ago, y'all sat there about an hour and a half one with all of our projects. So this morning we got a pretty short update, some updates on some projects under construction and a project that is bid. So we'll start off with the Outer Loop North Phase 3 project. That's the one that's going on our North Industrial Park. So we finished everything all the way up to Winland Road, coming over from Highway 36. This one starts at Winland and ties in at I-35 at Hart Road. Whoops, too many clicks. So we have, I say we got a short video, put it play. I'm gonna click really slow. Yeah, you may have to do that here. It worked great on my machine this morning. So this is at the intersection of Hart Road and I-35. Of course, to your right is Quick Trip that's coming in. So play like pretend and imagine the video's playing.
I don't think it's going to.
Too big for the machine. So this is a great video that I'm happy to OneDrive to everybody after the meeting. We'll make, so this is actually going to be shorter than I originally even thought. So currently, Jordan Foster's doing this project and it's going extremely well. The video will illustrate that we're really doing the eastern portion of the project. So from the BNSF where we cross there, which will be an elevated structure, over to Hart Road, that's the main focus right now, and that is the phasing of this project. They are making great progress out there, and probably I'll do that. I may send that over, Janet, to you and the OneDrive link for. And so this time I can send you the 10-minute version video, and y'all can zoom through that as you like. This one was only about a minute and a half, but they're making great progress. Both large culverts that are going on with the Elm Creek system on this side are one is almost complete. The other one is moving very quickly. They are on target and on time. This project is scheduled to be complete in the spring of 26. Of course, it is a lengthy project, but we do have a very, very large elevated structure that's flying the BNSF. So things are going great on this project. And again, I'll send that video out so that everybody on the board can see it. Just as a little recap here, these are the funding lines that I-35, the North Outer Loop Phase 3 is. And as you can see, spring of 2026, completion of the project, and they are on time.
David, I assume you've been pleased with them as a contractor and our choice there.
I'm sorry.
I assume you've been pleased with them as a contractor and our choice there.
Yeah, so a couple other things on this project, just as an update. Jordan Foster's been doing a great job, and we had worked with them down south. They're headquartered actually in El Paso, but they've got, I guess you'd call it a satellite, a regional office in Austin area. So they've just moved up to the Temple area, and we encouraged that because they were a really good contractor on some of the large roadway projects that we did down there. So this is their first project in our area, but we've been pleased with them on everything they've done, and they're doing a great job. And again, once you see that video and you think back when we started this project, I think you'll see the great progress that they've made out there and continue to make. We're going to have a few items that are going to pop up on this project as we continue to move down the line. And of course, we've got plenty of time with spring of 2026. With Quick Trip coming in, there's going to be that they sent their plans and development in after we bid this project. So we're going to have to make some adjustments for them, but that's okay. That's a very good project that's coming in. Their driveway selections and some things that they have necessitate us to make some changes. So you'll see that coming forward in the future. The other thing is Site 40, which we've had for quite a bit of time. TDC is in reinvestment zone is looking to start to market that. And there's a few elements that we have to do on that as we continue to move forward. Some of you, I think, were still on the board back when we did the loop. And one of the things we did when that was an elevated structure is we harvested some of the material from the loop and stored it on Site 40 for this project. That was back when BN had different rules and we were still at the elevated structure. Some of you will remember we went from elevated to at grade, and now we're back to elevated. But since that time, BN has started to do double stacks on the rail. What that caused was our bridge had to get higher. And so intuitively, you would think, okay, we need more fill. But that absolutely opposite, because our bridge became longer and we had to have retaining walls to make it work within our right of way. So bottom line is we're going to have some excess material that we're going to need to move off of Site 40 so that it's marketable. But we've got a pretty good plan for that, and we'll be bringing that forward to you. And I'll probably combine that all in one change order for simplicity, for the items we need to do for QuickTime, and then for that. So that's just a little preview of what will be coming.
Dude, you call that Hart Road, isn't it Burger? Isn't it where it ties in at Burger? I'm sure it's called Hart.
Yes, yeah.
And so I assume all that name change will take place when this is complete.
Unfortunately, we are not in charge of names. So I would assume so.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. On the east side, it's Burger. On this side, it's Hart.
Right, yeah.
And that's drilled in our brain because the Hart Road lift station used to be there, which, we
Yeah.
dealt with our wastewater plants all the time, which we've now turned to gravity. But I would assume that would get
Steve, you're
changed.
right, we think burger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's usually Dick Manning and you guys.
downtown city center, this one's probably not going to play either. So we'll just leave that there. And again, I'll send this one out to you, Janice, so we can send it out. This project is moving forward. We're having to work very closely with the Turner Behringer Real Estate Group as well as Professional Building. If you go down there right now, we've closed everything, and you can see 6th Street in the picture is complete. But everything is closed now. We're working with both those private developments to do everything on 2nd and 4th and Central, which would encompasses the entire project. It is presenting challenges. Every time we open something up, we find something new downtown, and that's very common. Every place that we work in where you're going into a downtown project, and it's something that was developed over 100 years ago, you're going to get surprises. And we know that going in. We have, we're making adjustments. Fortunately, we literally have to walk out of our building to our parking lot to get the job site. So we're very quick on making those adjustments when the contractor calls. Unfortunately, he's calling quite a lot. It's one of the interesting things that we found out is almost every building has basements, which didn't surprise us. What we are finding out is those basements, how far they go out either in the sidewalk or the road. like covered with roadway and sidewalk now, but you know, we're having to deal with that as we go. So project is moving forward. If you go down there, you'll see that both Turner Behringer and Professional Building still have some elements within Central that are not allowing us to build that section between Second and Fourth currently, but we're very close to that. And I really believe once they get to the point where they can remove their items and we can get that holistic, the project will start moving very quickly. Still probably expecting completion on this. And again, we're dependent on those two entities, probably fall of this year.
Based on what you've seen so far, do you think we have enough contingency in there to cover, or is it? Don't know yet.
Probably a Tracy question, but so far we haven't hit anything that's overwhelming. We came up with some creative solutions for some of the things we've uncovered with those basements that I think they won't be big dollar items. So we're actually turning this into a bridge as well. We're going to put permanent metal deck like you see on a bridge structure to bridge those open areas where the basements are, and then pour that the sidewalk over it, and then do some protection within the roadway itself to make sure that cars or trucks don't get on that. So that we're not having to beef that up to a level where we're taking traffic loading. But yeah, we hope so. We've hit a few water issues that we're dealing with near the parking garage. Getting pretty close on getting that fixed. Fortunately or unfortunately for downtown, and again, very common for all the downtowns that we work in, you don't see a lot of underground drainage systems. That just wasn't a thing 100 years ago. And so when you do hit groundwater or any water issues, you have to get it to the surface. You can't, if I'm on a typical project, I hit groundwater, I can do a French drain and tie it into an underground system. Here, you can't really do that because there is none. But the project is moving forward. I know it's probably a lot slower than the public would like to see. But again, once those two entities get complete where we can have access to everything, I think we're fall of this year to be complete. And now for the great news. So we have bid the Tower Road Waterline project. If you recall, this one was one of our integral projects for the Synergy Park area. This was the lowest hanging fruit for us to increase water capacity over to that area. So this one's a 16-inch water line from Martin Luther King all the way over to the connection to Tower Road, which will then tie into Synergy Park. Got a couple of items for your consideration today on this one. Since this project has bid, we've got both the professional services for the construction administration as well as the construction contract itself. So agenda item 4 is the consideration for professional services for construction phase services. So we had $90,000 in that line item for that, and the item number 4 is for $88,360. And then as far as the bid itself, we were really pleased with the participation that we had on the bid. We had 8 bidders, which is great these days, and the bids were incredible. Our line item in our budget was $2.2 million, which you can see in the bold there. And the bids range from B Corp, which was the low bidder of a little over 1.8 million, all the way to 2.6 million. For 8 bidders, we had a really good tight bid, and we were really pleased at where our budget was in relationship to those bids. So this is agenda item 5 for today for consideration. Contract with B Corp to bring that water line over to Synergy Park and increase our water capacity. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, David. Now let's go ahead and consider the items that consider them in the order that they're in. Number 4, consider a recommendation to City Council to authorize contract amendment number 2 to professional services agreement with Casper Patrick and Associates LP, construction phase services for the South Tower Road water line improvements, an estimated amount of $88,360. We have a motion, please. So a motion, we have a second. Second. Any question, discussion? Not all in favor, please say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is consider recommendation City Council authorize a construction contract with B Corp Utilities Inc., Gatesville, Texas, the construction of the South Temple Tower Road water line improvements in the estimated amount of $1,837,779.60. So we have a
Motion to
motion,
approve.
second,
Second.
second. Discussion? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next two items, receive a project update from Temple Economic Development Corporation and update from the city manager. We will not have those today. So, actually, you're gonna be able to get back a lot of time. We're giving back some of what 2 meetings ago was an hour and a half meeting. So, anyway, the next meeting with RZ will be May 22nd. So that concludes our agenda and all on our meeting, so. Thank you, sir. So we are adjourned. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for responding to Jana about forums. When you have so few items, sometimes you wonder if somebody's gonna take a